All right, I want to talk about sports.
Yes! Oh, finally! The nerdy gritty nerdy griffy is back.
The nerdy griffy.
Okay,
That's a bad callback. It's from an entirely different podcast.
Okay, what would we call it this?
We're talking about, I don't know.
Safe and continue.
Safe and continue. Pretty good.
Thank you.
I want to talk about sports because I went to a Trailblazers game last Monday.
All right, you basket the ball.
I did no basketing. I observed the basketing from the nosebleeds. But I enjoy going to sports games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care who wins. I root for whoever I am with is rooting for.
Yeah.
Just to like be along for the ride.
Hope everybody has a good time.
I hope everybody has a good time
safe.
and has fun. And what makes it fun is I know enough about how most sports work to like follow along.
Right.
Like what's going on. I mean, I don't have to just wonder what just happened in that play.
But none of the players took the juice boxes you brought for afterwards.
I had a bunch of water bottles that said Michael's Secret Stuff.
Yeah.
And none of them, clearly not Space Jam fans, just New Legacy. So anyway, I want to say I had a great time. It was a thing that we did with guys from church. Had a great time hanging out with my brothers. But also it was maybe my least favorite live sports experience. Not because of the experience, but because, well, you know what? I'll say it's because of the experience. It was not fun to be at a live basketball game.
Really?
It was constant noise.
In
That like lots of like 5-second clips of songs every 10 seconds. Like it's just like, guys, calm it down. And as I've been thinking about it, it just like as well as watching the sport, it felt the same way where I think there was just too much turnover on the like I'm supposed to be excited every 10 seconds about going, to get points, as they call it, to get some score points. And I just want to say, I appreciate all of the unintentional groundwork you did for getting me interested in baseball.
Yeah, my man.
Because I don't ever want to go to I'll go to one if like people are going and it's just, it's fun enough to go and hang out. But I've been actively checking like for Hillsboro hops, like when tickets go on sale. I've been actively checking every
Portland
couple
Pickles,
of days.
Man, are a
sure
ball.
That too we're gonna look for. The Hops have a new
Pickles.
stadium this year, and I'm hoping to go to open like the first home game.
We are. This is nothing for our poor listeners right now.
No, it's nothing.
But
I'm just saying, hey, basketball.
But
we need be better.
Portland. Oh, dude, don't get me started.
You know how? Okay, here's what we do.
Oh no.
Just a little quick thing. You know how baseball's like has started to speed it up a little in order to get people more excited.
Basketball slow it down.
How do we slow down basketball?
Tranquilizers.
Like mild tranquilizers for all the players. You just if somebody's moving too quick, you just have like sniper nests. Or just the basketball court is an extra 50 feet long.
Yes.
Where they just have to go a little farther. This is too far. The other thing that I talked about with my brother the other day would make it more fun is if it, how there's 2 points and then if you're behind the 3-point line, you get 3 points. Why is it only that?
Mm-hmm.
I think we should have cameras tracking the players, and you should get like within 3 feet of the rim, like basically if you just do a layup or a dunk or whatever, you get 2 points, and then your points are increased by your distance from the basketball hoop. So like and it would be judged based incrementally. So if the 3-point line is still the 3-point line, that means halfway between you get 2.5 points. And then it's just based. So if you get a half court shot, you're getting like 4.5, however that works out. If you're by the other team's hoop, you're getting like 7 points, man. Like, I think that would make it more interesting. I want more Globetrotters in regular basketball.
Steph Curry would become the first $1 billion player if that were true.
Many
6 points from half court, and he's just sinking them 40% of the time or whatever. It's bonkers. Okay, we are getting too deep into sports here.
I just want to say, I appreciate baseball.
Yeah, you do.
In an even greater way now, because it's just a chill,
the best sport
hangout. Where you just go in and watching, and
dude, having a good time.
It's exciting to watch the pitches,
but it's also exciting. Yes,
it's exciting to watch what's going on, but also the like actual excitement of like, oh, home run or oh, big hit. Is that occasional?
Right.
Which makes it less taxing to sit and watch,
Well,
and
if it's the
peanuts or whatever
frequency issue of if it happens all the time, it's less exciting.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they were hitting a lot of 3-pointers, and like by a half. by, as sports guys say. And by like the halftime, I'm like, yeah, cool. They got another 3-point shot. It's cool. Whatever, man. I've lost interest in this.
I'm thinking before. I already said this is nothing for our poor listeners, but as I actually think about it, this
might be helpful for other listeners.
The nerdiest possible sports conversation you could ever have.
So anyway, the sportsman, you see.
Yeah. So sports would be more interesting if we could actually like.
Now, what if they got bonuses from their equipment that they were wearing? They got shoes that added to their dexterity.
Oh man. So
anyway, let's actually get to.
Let's be done
with
a podcast.
This.
Let's do a podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to Save and Continue, where theology and faith meet. I am Steve.
Hi. And I'm... Oh.
Hi. I'm just saying
Oh, you
hi.
just said hi. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Fox.
Hey.
Also hi.
Yeah, hi. Fox, how are you doing, my friend? You had your basketball game, your sportsman time yesterday. Yep. By the way, I was going to say real quick. Yeah. Professional softball is coming to Portland, and I am
professional
so excited.
Softball?
Yes.
Also a WNBA team.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Women's fast-pitch softball is like baseball on fast forward. And I love it.
The Thorns have made it extremely clear this is the state to come to, the city really to come to for women's teams.
We're also courting MLB.
I'm very excited for the Thorns season also.
So anyway, okay, well that's it for sports. Done.
Now the real podcast.
Done on sports. Safe and Continue over.
It's out.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
you have the intro.
That was the intro. What are you talking about?
We're doing a podcast now. That's right.
We're doing a podcast.
Now we're doing a podcast. Hey, so we
professionals.
Yeah, I know, right? We're so good at this. This is episode 7 or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to be doing something today that we're going to be doing continually, kind of like a go-to for if there's not any big news or anything like really huge we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Something that we're going to want to do is revisit old nerd culture IPs. So that's going to be movies or video games or comic books or whatever that have a heavy intersection with Christianity and
faith in general.
Or faith in general. Yeah, faith in general. And taking a look at it both theologically, of course, and as well as within its own fiction, like as a Christian fiction, just how that's going to work out and whatnot. So today, we were thinking about what we want to talk about. And today we are talking about the classic Keanu Reeves film, Constantine.
Classic.
It really is.
I genuinely think it has a better. It's like a cult film. When it came out, it did not get a great reception.
It's got a 50 Metascore. Like
that seems about right. Movie, but I do think in like looking back at it, I think more people enjoy it now than they did at the time.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And I think that largely came from the surface level stuff of it not being totally accurate to the comic books.
I'm going to say,
and people care about that more in the moment than they do in the past or going down the line. So,
well, Fox, before we get too deep in it, what is Constantine? Tell our listeners.
Constantine is a Vertigo comic book series. Started, I believe, in the
anymore.
What?
I don't know if Vertigo.
No, Vertigo doesn't exist anymore.
So
Vertigo originally existed as basically what Black Label is now.
Yes.
DC Black Label is now like the more like mature adult storylines.
It's R-rated
in DC, kind of. Yeah, and that's kind of where Vertigo started. There's a lot of classic stuff. Sandman started on Vertigo.
It's Disney Plus and Hulu.
I guess so. I'd say it's more like what's the gothic version of, like it's a lot of the stuff was a lot more gothic and like edgy.
Yeah.
Rather than just like R-rated. So Constantine started there, or is called Hellblazer. And then it went for a long time. There's been reboots. And then of the comic series, there's a pretty recent one as well. There might be one right now. I don't know. In 2004, I want to say 5, 6. Early 2000s, there was a film adaptation of Constantine starring Keanu Reeves. He stars as John Constantine, who is essentially a exorcist, we could say. Fights the demonic presence.
2005.
Evil demonic presence on Earth. And the series, the movie is largely about him fighting off this evil, presence and dealing with his own internal. It's really kind of an investigation of a woman who dies, and
Right.
and also kind of his internal struggle with the concept of grace and salvation and who he is. And
Suicide. I've seen this movie 50 times, maybe not that much. I'm exaggerating, but I've seen this movie a lot, and it's just this most recent time that I really fully comprehended how much they talk about suicide.
Yes,
and how,
it's a major theme.
How important that is to the whole story of it all and whatnot. So
it's also kind of a hot button issue, I would say, in Catholicism too,
right.
And I think that's might make kind of the point for including that. So yeah, 2005. This is Keanu Reeves, kind of at the height of his power. I mean, although he's had a resurgence, this is a couple of years after The Matrix. This is probably even after The Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah.
He is working. I think this is one of his better movies, actually, as far as even him being in it, his acting. I think his whole personality works really well for John Constantine.
I agree. John Constantine,
this version of
is
John
a snarky
Constantine.
British man in the comics.
Yes, you're right. That was another. Yeah, but he is kind of
this
snarky.
character he does very well.
Yes, this version of the thing, and then also a little early Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah,
early Shia LaBeouf show up. I don't know if this was post holes. But before Transformers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So he's kind of still in that Disney era.
This was him trying to say, I'm not a kid anymore.
Not Disney guy
I'm a grown up. Yeah.
So anyway,
the whole story basically being that
you just watched it yesterday.
Yeah. That's the Spear of Destiny, which in Christian mythology, which is something we're going to talk about in a bit here, is the spear that pierced Christ when they were checking to see if he was alive or dead, and therefore it had some of his blood on it.
His magical blood.
Right. And we are saved by the blood, my friend. It does have some sort of...
We'll get to that.
Okay.
I think that's what we'll talk about.
So, but to Fox's point, mythology says that makes this spear magical.
It's a relic.
Yeah, magical in some way. And that it is found and it is going to be used to bring forth the son of the devil, the Antichrist.
The classic Antichrist.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
and
man,
he's going to rule the world or whatever, and they're trying to stop it.
Sure.
And so that's really it. What it really revolves around, though, is John Constantine, which is Keanu Reeves, and Angela something or other, I can't remember her last name, Rachel Weisz. And Rachel Weisz's twin sister commits suicide, but she's a devout Catholic. And so Rachel Weisz's character is that would never happen. She would never commit suicide.
Doesn't make any sense.
We need to figure out why this is happening. And so they go on this big thing to figure out what's going on. And that's the whole story without spoiling
the general
too much.
plot.
Yeah,
yes.
The general plot of Constantine. But within it all, Catholicism is huge for this. Is a massive. I keep looking down the barrel of my camera. I'm sorry. It's there. It's
prolonged eye contact.
Yeah, I know. But Catholicism is huge in this, a huge part of the storyline, and also a whole lot of just different sort of mythology is tucked into this.
That's kind of generally true for the Hellblazer,
right.
Sandman universe is kind of the monomyth, everything is real kind of thing.
So. We're going to talk about, again, like we were talking before, we're going to split this into two sections. We're going to talk about the fiction of it itself and how it did with that and how that sort of paralleled with Christianity. And then we're going to talk about the actual theology of it, really getting into the nitty gritty of how it addresses faith and Christ and all this other stuff.
Right.
So
wait, before that, movie's sick, bro.
Oh yeah.
Movie's sick, bro.
Legitimately, I said before, it's got a straight up 5 out of 10 Metascore. I think that's fair.
That feels right.
I might give it a 6.
Fine.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's exciting. It's fun. I like it. But this is something I say all the time. I may have said on this podcast before. We have to, as viewers of art, we have to distinguish between what is good and what we enjoy.
Yes.
These can be different things.
These can be different things.
I love this movie.
Yeah,
It's so
I enjoy
fun.
it for the I enjoy it for a lot of reasons, but the visceral, like, I've got a dragon flame
shotgun,
yes,
and dude,
there's like a million things where I could say, oh, remember that part where he does that cool thing, pulls the opening scene of pulling the demon out of the girl with the mirror is such a cool concept.
We're gonna talk about that in just a second.
It's great.
Here.
Yeah,
yes.
all of it's cool. There's like also details I always see when I'm watching of like the bowling alley where he's walking behind and you see on the wall just like stripes.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, they make the number 666, and you're like, oh, like just little details.
I did
like,
not.
It feels like they cared more about the details of this movie than something like this would usually get.
Right.
And I think that's why it enjoys such a decent cult status. That it doesn't feel, just like a cash grab.
And you and I have a unique connection over this movie. Do you remember this?
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, I borrowed this from you in high school. And then I lost it. But I bought a new copy for you.
You did buy a new copy. I kid you not, I still have no recollection of this.
Yep.
You told me this story years ago. And so I only know of this secondhand, even though it's a
it's
secondhand. But I still have that copy of the DVD.
I bought you a new
upstairs.
copy because I did not want to be the dumb high school kid who just borrowed something and basically lost it and said, deal with it.
Oh, man. Okay, so let's talk about kind of the fiction of this altogether then. In this world, how things work, how that parallels with Christianity or whatnot. And you already mentioned it. I want to talk right off the bat about the exorcism scene at the very beginning. So right in the opening
it's a solid
of the film,
opening scene.
It really is. A really cool opening scene. Like really sets the tone well.
Very much
introduces the characters. Like, because it does almost all of the important characters other than Angela. It introduces them all in this moment, gives all of their sort of like character styles and
introduces Constantine as an exorcist, but it's almost like this workman, like, I'm not here to help, I'm here to do my job. I have to take this out of you. I'm not going to be kind to you. I'm going to do what I have to do and then leave.
And a workman in as much as he is not there going, I am the mighty Constantine.
Right. He's just like, what's the tool I use?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, it's this kind. I have to do this. Like, he's just going through the steps. And
it's a job, man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's there to fix your toilet.
Right. Yeah.
And so he comes in and there's a young woman, probably mid-teens, I'm guessing, who is demon-possessed. And he is trying to figure out, okay, what am I dealing with here?
What kind of demon?
And so he opens a window and he's got this huge like keychain of different holy symbols.
It's so good.
And he's just kind of scrolling through them. No, until he gets to
casting a shadow onto the lady.
Girl. Yeah. And then he gets to one, and then she's like, ah! And he's like, all right, that's the one.
It's such a good, he doesn't take a moment to say to the other priest that's there, here's my keychain of holy symbols.
Right.
And we have to he just does it, and you get it instantly.
Yes.
Like, you know what's happening. And it's really well done.
In fact, on that note, something I didn't realize before, but as you say it, they do very, very little of that.
Yeah.
He has a sidekick, somebody that you'd expect him to say,
yeah,
oh, hey, just so you know, little Johnny, this is why I'm doing this, or whatever.
We have to go do this to do this thing.
They let the audience be smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like there's a code.
When it's possible to do that.
Yeah. And so these types of things, codes for getting into a place, or whatever else, they just... So many different things that they don't explain it to you. They let you be smart enough to figure it out. And so they do that really, really well. But this to me was something of just talking about the different flavors of demons in a world where pluralism is real, quote unquote. I mean, pluralism is real, but
pluralism as in everything that people believe is real.
Right. Yeah. Where all religions are real and
equally real. Essentially.
Right. And so it's a really interesting way to right off the bat say that this isn't just them saying he's figuring out what demon there is. It's also them saying, hey, we are including all mythology here.
Right.
Everything is a part of this. And it's a really smart way of just being like, okay, yes, this is explicitly Catholic, but there's going to be all kinds, like, don't look into your Bible and be like, well, actually.
It helps you keep guessing. You don't fully know what to expect. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's good.
So that moment to me was really, really fun within the fiction of it and the mythology of it, just being able to go in and being like, hey, just so you know, there's all kinds of flavors of stuff going on here.
Right. there's a lot of things in the movie that it's an interesting one to talk about in the sense that it feels right. Like I don't know, it's hard to watch as a non-Catholic,
right?
Because you have this fundamental difference a lot of times as a Protestant, where a lot of the tradition of the Catholic Church feels like that's what that like it's giving credence to a lot of stuff that Protestantism does not. And so it's hard to accept, like there's a kind of in your mind if you want to take this as a quote unquote Christian movie, a hard barrier to cross there, because although it is true to Catholicism in its tradition, there's a lot of stuff that along the lines of saying pluralistic, all the different kinds of demons, whatever, demon is a catch-all term.
Right.
It's also doing that for within Christianity, where it's just saying all of Christian tradition or theology to a certain extent is accurate.
Right.
Other movies will do this too when they talk about like the language of Enoch or, things like that, where it's like traditional things are given more credence because they work for this. And so when you're watching this as a theological piece, it's hard to accept a lot of it from the start, because no, that's just what people have come up with.
And to give my theologian rant on this, actually, by the way, of saying, you know what everybody believes is real. Everybody believes it is real for them or whatever else. Don't do that. That's incredibly condescending.
It's condescending and just inaccurate.
Right. So
contradictory.
Well, turning to somebody and saying, "Hey, what's real for you is what's real for you," is like patting somebody on the head and being like, "Oh, you like McDonald's? That's cool, bud.
Yeah,
that's great."
Well, I mean, I find it gross, but if you like it,
and instead of this being, "Oh, this is your life's devotion that you have based your entire like core of who you are on," or whatever. And that's true for so many religions, right? So if a Muslim says that Muhammad is the only true prophet, the one prophet, and Christians say that Jesus is the Messiah, these two things disagree with each other.
These are contradictory statements, and therefore one of them cannot be true.
Exactly. One must be false and one must be, or not, at least one of them must be false.
At least one of them must be false.
Yes, and
both of them might be also.
Right. And so to then turn and just say, both of you are right, it's fine, is so condescending.
Right, it's very condescending. The goal of, to me, pluralism as a concept is to not necessarily need to agree on everything in order to live peacefully and see each other as our neighbors.
Right.
Pluralism to that extent is a good thing for our society, not because we're trying to ignore each other's, religions or beliefs or, the contradictions that we might find in there, but because regardless of what they think, I still see them as my neighbor and want to be a part of their lives and want to. And then when it's appropriate, maybe I have a conversation with them saying, actually, I don't know if Muhammad was the person that you think he is, and like address that. And then that conversation might go nowhere. And then you're still good friends and neighbors and live life together in peace. Like it is a hard part of watching a movie like this.
I didn't double check your camera. I'm just realizing that your head is on the bottom half of the camera for some reason.
And I can't see it because you've set up this light with a big old curtain. So anyway, I'm just going off of...
Right. I'll adjust the camera in a second here, but that's honestly better. But no. He's leaving. Bye.
Hi.
So, no, I'll fix it here in a second.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
Let me prompt you with
my face
a thought
is fine.
then here is... So... Where do you see inconsistencies within this then? Like, it's got its own fiction, right? And within fiction, you can have inconsistencies because then you'll hand wave things away.
Sure.
But we see, like, the Catholic Church being, like, absolutely true. There are demons. There is God. There are angels. Like, these things are real. But at the same time, they introduce all kinds of other weird things and whatnot. Like,
I would find the inconsistency that matters as far as what's hard for me to actually... watch this like plot and take it seriously, and the characters. The largest inconsistency is Constantine in my view of him as a character.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Who genuinely either actively chooses to not follow the concept of grace and like as a core part of Christianity, or just doesn't understand it.
Yeah.
And like it's hard I don't know why he is doing what he is doing, I guess. Because I can't say that actually. I understand the concept of trying to work for your salvation.
Right.
Of saying,
yeah,
I have done bad things, I need to do good things in order to earn my salvation back. That's a thing we all do regardless of whether or not we fully understand the doctrine of grace. And so, like, so I can understand that. It does make it difficult to watch a character who acts in such a way that is not, it feels like it's just trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Not humiliate, demystify the Catholic faith, the Christian faith, in a way that is like removing any kind of, like, it's like a weird contradiction of he is actively using magic and like, like paranormal stuff in order to just do a job.
Yeah.
As we're saying at the beginning, like, that's a cool way to portray this character, but it does somewhat contradict the nature of, if he doesn't seem to be on board with the full concept of the religion that he is actively a part of, or actively using the supernatural elements of in order to do the job. Like, he is the major contradiction of the theological thesis of the movie, I would say.
It's similar to a book series I'm reading right now called The Dresden Files, which I'm going to talk about a little more later. But in the Dresden Files, there are 3 Knights of the Cross. There are 3 swords that are made from the nails that crucified Jesus, and each one of them are weapons that to fight evil,
Sure.
And there's one guy who has been chosen to be a wielder of one of the swords, and he is a professed atheist. And when the main character, Harry Dresden, is like, what? How can you be an atheist? You're holding the sword in your hand.
Yeah.
You've seen, and he's like, I think this is all just science that we don't have explained yet. Like back, back in the days, we explained the science that we know now. We explained it then by saying it was magic or fairies or whatever.
Yeah.
And now all this stuff is science that 100 years from now, we're going to find out this is what actually was going on. I'm just the guy who's holding this and helping out people, trying to be a good person or whatever else, trying to help people out. And to me, it is like Harry Dresden says, look, man, they're allies, they're friends. He says, basically saying, that's monumentally stupid. Like, that is
that's
really,
what we need
really
for Keanu
dumb.
here.
And yeah, I feel the same way about Keanu Reeves in this. Is he clearly understands so much of this textually.
Yes.
It is the book of James, the difference between knowing and believing, right?
Yeah.
And he understands all of this, and he could probably quote to you chapter and verse that but it's by grace we are saved, not by works. But he just doesn't seem to fathom it.
Yes, it has not penetrated the spirit.
I will say, though, in his defense, a big part of this, a big part of the whole fiction of it all, I mean, fiction, because Catholics kind of believe that it's complicated, but is that suicide in Catholicism was what's called a mortal sin, meaning that it is a sin that you commit that cannot be forgiven. Their idea being that it is murder. To Catholics, life is incredibly precious at all points. They are against the death penalty. They are pro-life, all this other stuff. Like they are,
to a certain extent.
Yeah. And so if you commit suicide, you have committed murder, but have not given yourself a chance to repent either.
It's just kind of on a technicality, you are then automatically sentenced.
Right. And
to
so
purgatory, at least, or whatever.
they say you cannot commit suicide and be saved. Well, Constantine attempted suicide in his youth, died for 2 minutes, but then was resuscitated in the hospital. But he still technically successfully committed suicide.
Sure.
So that no matter what he does with his life, other creatures and characters and angels and demons, whatever, in the movie itself, tell him, you know where you're going. You know how this ends up. Nobody can stop this. Like, everybody just knows, oh, Constantine is condemned to hell because he successfully committed suicide. He was then resuscitated, of course, but he did commit this mortal sin and now can never be forgiven of it. And so
Sure.
for him, he's trying to find a way out of that. He's trying to find a way to make up for that.
Yes. Here's also what I want to say about, I did say he's a contradiction. I also say that is kind of what makes him very interesting as a character.
Mm-hmm.
He represents the idea of knowing, like you're saying, knowing versus believing. The idea of, like, God is the one in control and gets to make the decision to whether or not you are condemned.
Right.
Essentially, I mean, we also play a role in that. But, like, it sounds similar to the character in Dresden Files of, you could say, on one hand, I could see somebody saying, well, that just makes God look incredibly stupid because he gave this sword to some guy who doesn't even believe in him.
Right.
Or you could say, God knows the heart of this person and is willing to give him more time. Like, we're still working on this. Every single one of us is a work in progress. The process of sanctification is always ongoing. Some of us are just farther along the road than we even know ourselves or, want to give somebody credit for. So it is an interesting idea of, like, it's more interesting to me than some guy who is just fully, like, knowledgeable and doesn't have that. You need conflict.
Yeah.
And every story needs some kind of internal conflict. A person who is changing and figuring out things as they go. And we see that play out. I don't know how much we want to spoil about the movie, but we see that play out a little bit in the movie of him making decisions and some of those decisions being taken away from him. And oh man, there's so many things in the movie though. Like we talked about this earlier. We don't want to just like, remember that cool thing?
Right.
Thing? But I do want to bring up the portrayal of some of the imagery of Christianity, the imagery of hell.
Yeah.
I think is very interesting to me. When we think of hell, due to pop culture, Renaissance paintings, often we think about fiery cave with a guy with a pitchfork. I actually think this might be more theologically accurate in my mind. I mean, when we think of heaven, Revelation, new heaven, new earth, like it is not just clouds, in the sky. It is new creation. It is new earth. It is a new place for us to be. And this feels like the antithesis of that.
Yeah.
Just a desolate wasteland where nothing good is.
Well, but it mirrors Earth still. There are freeways and buildings and cars.
Right. It is a alternate Earth essentially.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that as a concept. It's not trying to be a scary place, really.
Right.
But it is like, it feels hopeless.
And a place
which
that you don't want to be.
More accurate. It should be more accurate.
Yeah.
When we think of the concept of hell, it is not just scary torture place. It is place without the love and light of God.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the scariest thing that we can possibly try to fathom, because I don't even think we fully can fathom it. And so that was cool. I want to talk about the portrayal of Satan, Lucifer.
Yeah.
He's in this one.
Yep.
Oily car salesman, literally oily. I don't know. What did you think of how he's portrayed?
As a fictional character, I really like it.
Yeah.
If we were to actually see Satan today walking around, I think he'd look a lot more like Joel Osteen.
Okay.
Not literally Joel Osteen. Not making any accusations.
You don't know that.
But somebody who feels so close to actually Christian, but also is so not.
As Frodo says about Aragorn, he would seem fairer but feel fouler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But as far as a fictional character go, man, this guy was he made you feel, I mean, talk about feel fouler,
Yes,
man.
he's a gross kind of dude, but I understand what you're saying. He is not, like, Satan is described in lots of ways, but I don't know, a physical description is hard to pin down. This felt like leaning into the idea of evil man.
Yes.
A little more than would be probably accurate if we were to come across Satan as he prowls along the earth.
I want to look up the actor's name because he deserves.
Oh, he's
to be
I know who it
mentioned.
is off the top of my head.
Right, Peter Stormare.
Peter Stormare. Yes.
Yes. So he portrays Satan in this, and he puts on this voice that makes you feel a little like tingly
Skin
down
crawling.
your back. Right.
Yeah.
He's wearing a white suit.
Yeah.
But he's wearing it very casually. He's got like an open button shirt underneath, but he's barefooted and his feet are covered in like tar, it almost looks like.
Yeah, which doesn't have, like, I mean, as far as I know, maybe in Catholic tradition there's a reason for that, but just kind of a cool, like an interesting stylistic choice that feels cool. I also appreciated about his portrayal that he too does not understand grace. That he is angry when he tries to take Constantine. I like the portrayal of the the ground itself, the floor of the place, like stopping.
We're gonna do. If you're a listener, spoiler alert, skip ahead.
It's a bit of a spoiler,
whatever. But if you can see the video, this is spoiler alert, and this is good. You can mute it. You can mute it for now. So go ahead.
He attempts to take Constantine. He believes that he has earned Constantine's soul, basically, and God says no.
Right.
God says no, I'm not done with him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, hold on, no, this isn't the rules. And you're like, I don't think you understand your role in this man, which again feels right. Feels like a yes, like it is not a good versus evil. It is a good allowing people to engage. It's just I feel like it's one of the bright spots of the theological portrayal of Christianity in this movie.
Yeah.
Where a lot of it is like, sure, it's tradition, it's fun, we're not taking it seriously. That feels like a part you take seriously.
Yeah, I want to get into that more, but let's get into that more on
the
theology side of it, because I want to talk about one more thing at least, and that is Christian mythology.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's something that a lot of people don't understand is very real, very true. There is Christian mythology. I promise you, you know of it, and you don't even realize you know of it.
Right.
The Holy Grail is Christian mythology.
Yes.
If you heard about Arthurian legend, or if you watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, like this is actual literal Christian mythology about the cup that Jesus drank from at the Last Supper, and that also caught his blood, at some point or whatever. So there's a lot of obviously his blood is a big part.
There's a lot of stories told about the things surrounding Christ and Christ himself.
Right. And then there's the myth of Lilith. This is actually both Christian and Jewish mythology, that there were two women created based on different portrayals of the account of creation. Right. So Genesis, one and it mentions creating woman twice.
Yes.
And but what it really is it's an overarching. This is when God created everything at once. Now let's take a closer look at creation. And he didn't actually
put it in current terms. There's a lot of headcanon.
Yes.
When it comes to Christian mythology, when it's like the Holy Grail, it's literally just like Jesus picked up a cup, and like it's not like he took a cup and made it magical and special, and now this is a fancy cup that gives you everlasting life. No, it's just a cup that was at the table he was sitting at when he talked about the idea of sharing in Christ's sacrifice. And
again, for Catholics, when he said, "This is my blood," he was being literal.
Yes.
And so it literally was the cup that held Christ's blood.
Right, but you're still saying that the cup is now special.
Right, yes.
A cup holding something doesn't mean the cup is special.
And so, because, again, if you don't fully comprehend that we are washed by the blood of Christ as part of, and it's a kind of a metaphor saying that because of Christ's sacrifice, we can now be free from sin. We are washed by the blood of Christ.
Yes.
So things literally having to do with his blood gain this sort of mythological status, including the spear of destiny, which is what it is in the spear that's pierced the side of Christ. And so we have this today, not Protestants, but Catholics really do, in the idea of relics. There are a lot of relics in Catholicism. You can go to a lot of really old cathedrals and whatnot, and they'll often have, this is the knuckle bone of Saint Francis,
literal bones of saints and whoever they decided is important enough.
The San Javier Mission in Tucson has hang on.
There was recently a story I was listening to about on NPR about a tour that's a skull or something, some kind of relic, an important relic in the Catholic tradition. It was going on tour. It would be in various cities for various times, and you could go and be in a long line, and I think they were limiting you to being in front of it for 15 seconds, and then you had to leave. And you could pray or whatever, this is something that is given not just historical significance, but literal power, I would say. Treat it as something that has some kind of transformative power if we were to touch it or be near it or to pray to it or with it in whatever context the object might be. I mean, this is a thing that happens in a lot of faith era-esque movies If you watched the last or the first Exorcist, or there's another one. What was the Sydney Sweeney movie? I'm not. I forget. It's last year or the year before. There is a bone in that movie that has mystical powers that then she becomes pregnant, and it's a whole thing. But it's just like it's a common part of Christian or of Catholic theology is this idea of objects being given power based on who they belong to, and this movie revolves around those.
The Sun Heavy Mission Tucson is a statue of the reclining Saint Francis Xavier.
Okay.
But it is also considered a relic. Like it is
right. It's not
looks
even
like his corpse.
It's a statue. Like
it looks like it looks like a real corpse.
The Shroud of Turin. You have a lot of things. There are a million stories. People, archaeologists think they discovered the boards from the Ark. Things like that. Or the Ark.
It's trying to. It's this human desire to make something physical of the supernatural.
Yes.
And that isn't bad per se, because that's literally what Christ is. He's the physical representation of divinity. And trying to find that physical representation of the supernatural isn't necessarily a bad thing. It has happened before. It's very, very good. But it's also this desire of, in my opinion, idolatry. It's very much the golden calf.
Yes.
In the book of Exodus, or no, it wasn't Exodus. Was it Exodus with the golden calf?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was? Okay. In Exodus, the Hebrews are wandering the deserts, and they want to worship God, but they're saying, okay, but we need something that represents him.
It was taking too long for Moses to come down from the mountain.
We want to look at something, we want to see something. And so Aaron was like, okay, and he had his artisans fashion a golden calf, and he said, okay, this is your representation of God, and they started worshiping it. And it was like, no, it's not though. That's not the important part. It would be the equivalent of a church gathering together and saying, we can't worship until we put a cross in here.
Yeah.
And then the cross becomes the thing you're worshiping, not
the
God.
Cross becomes the object of worship.
Right.
Not the Messiah who was on it.
Exactly. And so it's the same type of thing with all this idea of relics and whatnot, and them holding these special powers. Is this idea that people begin to think that the power comes from the object, and forgetting that the power comes from God.
Right.
It comes from one place and one place alone.
To make a Vertigo comparison, Vertigo Comics comparison, there is a character called Death in the Sandman. If you watch the show, she's in one of the best episodes. It was excellent.
She's great.
She's a great character in the Sandman also. Just you should read the Sandman, if not even just for her. But there's a spin-off series where there's a man. She wears like an Ankh necklace.
Right.
It's an Egyptian symbol, and a man steals it. And essentially believes it to have this power. And there's this big, she finds him and they have this conversation. And he's like, why wasn't it working for me? I thought it was supposed to have power. She's like, oh, it does, but not that kind of power. Yeah. The power we give these symbols, the power we give these objects can in fact be real, but it's because we give them that power. We have chosen to give that object some kind of significance, and the object itself does not hold. It's like a placebo effect.
It's almost like a socket, where if we plug something into a socket, we think this socket is giving power.
Sure.
And it's like, no, it's what the socket is connected to that's giving the power. The socket is just the conduit that the power is coming through right now.
Yeah.
And if you were to detach the socket from that conduit, it would have no power whatsoever.
Right.
But if you were to find a way to plug your electronic into the conduit, it would work.
Yeah.
It would work fine, And so the power is, you think the power is coming from the wrong place.
Right.
And so it really is this mindset of giving the socket power, or thinking the socket has power, is what this idea of relics is.
Book of Eli also does this.
Oh, really well.
That's going to be one for another day. That's another.
But just a quote that he says in it is, I spent so much time reading it that I forgot to do what it says.
Right.
Yeah.
You take the physical object as the important piece here.
Yes.
And
okay, we've been talking for a long time about the fiction. Let's get into the theology of it.
Okay.
The theology of this. So overall, minor spoilers here. Overall, the idea is that the Antichrist is going to come and they need to stop this.
That's your parents' sister.
Auntie
Christ. Yeah.
Yeah. Her name is Christina, and she.
I had a
chooses
friend
to go
in
by
high
Christ
school
for
whose
some
last
reason.
name was Christ,
Yeah.
spelled the same as Christ. She made the joke a lot.
But so overall, the theology in this is 80% terrible,
Yeah.
and 20% pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah,
pretty decent
that's-
portrayal
you
of
see what
some
you're
of these
getting here.
concepts. Yeah.
But they have things like they talk about the Bible and hell.
Yeah.
Is one of the things in it, and that was such a funny concept to me. He's saying, that not, and it's not the Bible and hell as in the hell has its own front to back Bible. It's the Bible as we know it, but there's more to it. So he said, Romans has 21
It's got
chapters.
those extra DLC chapters.
Yes, literally that. And
I mean, we do kind of the Catholic Bible does have the Apocrypha in it,
but it's not addition to what is already
Sure.
there. And what's
It's
funny
got the
to me.
true truth.
What's funny to me is that, Constantine says, it paints a really different picture of a lot of different things or whatever else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, unless it's Paul, after finishing chapter 16 of Romans, then going to chapter 17 or whatever it is, and saying, by the way, everything I wrote before this is
tricked
wrong.
you guys.
Yeah, nerds. There are explicit things that it says in the Bible as we know it that would contradict anything could hell right in it after that, unless it was, never mind, all that stuff I wrote before is wrong.
There is a need for this movie, this script, to feel edgy.
Yeah.
I think that works against it
Yeah.
theologically. Let's be fair. They were not working to create a theologically accurate movie.
Right.
They were not here to create like let's demonstrate the grace of Christ through this movie, and also it's got cool guns. What they're making is a
Yeah, it
cool
does.
action movie that has religious iconography in it, and also some heady religious themes. And so those kind of like jokes, that feels like a joke to me. Like it is very funny of this idea of extra real Bible.
Well, and this comes at a time in which we had just had 2001 or 2000, like the Y2K stuff.
Yeah.
And all the end of the world things. Bible code was a really big thing in this time.
Oh, yeah,
If you
numerology kind of stuff. Yeah.
Biblical numerology and the Bible code. If you guys
You
don't
got,
know about that.
Dan
don't-
Brown,
Yeah.
got,
Dan Brown with the
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code. Thank you.
Yep,
That type
yep.
of stuff was going on. And so there was so much conversation in the world about the secrets behind the Bible.
Yes, it's
As if-
not. Don't take it at face value.
As if God wants to convolute it for us. He's
Right.
like, I don't want to give it to him straightforward, guys. Come on, And so this kind of plays on that desire
Yeah.
of like, ooh, there's more to this than you know. But what it says is so laughably contradictory to what Scripture actually says. It very much has to play on the viewer and having no idea about the Bible, about theology, or whatever else.
Yeah, it's hard to watch that. I mean, it is ironic. Like I would even say, I've talked to some people at church about this, like in some foundations classes. Is if we get down to brass tacks, the gospel is a minuscule part of the Bible. Like technically speaking, there is a whole most of the Bible, most of the scripture we have is not relevant. Not relevant. That's the wrong word. Not needed.
Yeah.
To demonstrate the gospel as a concept, the good news of Jesus Christ.
The gospel is obviously interlaced throughout every word of Scripture. But
Yes. Oh, 100%.
the actual literal story.
The actual literal story
is
of,
such a
of
small
the
part.
downfall of humanity and Jesus being the sacrifice.
Right.
So it's a little part of it. And so part of what's funny about that is we already have a whole lot more than is necessary. And so, okay, we're adding on to that to make it even more unnecessary. Like I'm not saying you should read the entirety of Scripture because it paints
Absolutely,
an
yes.
entire picture of God's like intervention in our own failures, and it's wonderful and just the most intricate story of love and grace. But yeah, anytime like it really just betrays both. They just want the audience to be ignorant, and also the authors, screenwriters, potential own ignorance on the concept of this funny joke, or it's just a funny joke, and I'm okay with that too.
Well, and at another point, Constantine says, what you know about God may be wrong or whatever. And he says, what if God and Satan made a wager? A wager for who could get more souls.
Yeah.
And that's how they portray salvation and heaven and hell. That it's that classic, what does Sky Jitani call it? Moral therapeutic deism.
Yeah, well, sure, yeah.
Where if you are good enough, you will get to heaven, and if you're bad, you will go to hell.
Well, it's like in Egypt when like the Egyptian mythology, you weigh your soul against a feather, and if it's light or it's literally just how many good points do you have versus how many bad points, and whoever wins, that person gets to put your soul in a jar. And then...
Absolutely, and so. Within the movie, the idea is that God and Satan made a bet.
Equalizes them.
Yeah.
At least that concept. The movie itself does not equalize them.
And I was talking to my daughter about this and saying, as for the heart of mankind, Satan has a better, like a stronger grasp on it. We are, this is the one thing I will absolutely agree with Calvinists on. We are totally depraved. We desire sin. We are slaves to sin. We need the Spirit of God to be free from that. Must have the Spirit of God to be from that. As far as the earth and the heart of man goes, Satan has a better grasp on that. Who has more control over everything in all of creation? God by 1 billion trillion times.
Literal infinite.
Yes.
Like not 1 billion trillion. That's minimalizing it. It's literal uncountable infinite power.
Yes. And so... we seek evil because we have knowledge of good and evil thanks to the tree and
free will.
We have free will, and our heart will seek evil because the heart is deceitful.
We seek ourselves.
Yeah, the heart is deceitful above all things.
Yes.
And so I could see saying that Satan has power in that aspect.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, God allows him to exist so that we can have choice.
He's not even necessary for that. He is Satan, like us, is a created being,
right,
and does not have any power over God. Zero power. Like we have equal amount of power as Satan. Like when it comes to control over God or the authority of His voice.
Yeah.
When it comes to God. Inherently is sovereign, and that I think while that might be something that is talked about in the movie as a whole, thematically, theologically, actually does not portray an equalization between them.
Right.
Which
at
is
the end
nice.
of the day, God can just override things.
At the end of the day, yeah, and Satan has no way to contradict it or to stop it from happening.
Right.
He can be upset about it.
Yeah, you can whine about it.
Yeah.
Another thing that they portray here that is a classic inaccuracy is they portray Satan as the ruler of hell.
Yeah.
He's not. He's going to be thrown in there.
Nobody's a ruler of hell. There's no rulers.
Oh, God is the ruler of hell.
Well,
like,
I guess technically speaking, sure. But...
And Satan is going to be punished in there, and he's going to suffer in there. And
right.
It's going to, Satan is going to hell. Like that's something I literally told my daughter last night. Satan's going to hell.
It has been,
and he will not be happy there.
And one guaranteed creature going to hell.
So, but on this whole note of Satan ruling hell and God, this whole idea is what I want to talk about is their idea of salvation in this. There's a moment when Constantine literally asks a half angel named Gabriel, how do I be saved? And Gabriel says the classic things: self-sacrifice and belief. And the fact that self-sacrifice is added on to that is like so close.
Yeah.
And yet still a swing and a miss. Like it's just belief.
Right.
And through your belief, you should choose self-sacrifice.
Then as a result, self-sacrifice is an outworking of that belief.
Yes. But that is not what saves you.
Right. It is the sacrifice of someone else that saves you, not yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There is sacrifice involved. It already happened. It is not yourself. You could not do that. It actually directly contradicts the concept of substitutionary atonement.
And so minor spoiler here. Minor spoiler here.
Yeah.
So not actually major spoiler, but still. So this plays into the end where Constantine sacrifices himself to save someone else. And like literally commit suicide
Again.
so he can save someone, and then Satan's all like, nom 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 nom,
My
you're
soul,
mine now.
thank you.
And he twirls his mustache,
Yeah.
and and so he starts carrying him to hell, and like you were saying before, it doesn't work. He becomes incredibly heavy, and Satan can't carry him anymore, and then he starts ascending into heaven. Constantine
see a brief
does.
glimpse of the buildings in the clouds,
and Lucifer says, the sacrifice. And he's saved because he gave his life for someone else. Like, that is what saves him. And again, it's like,
no,
swing and a miss, guys, swing and a miss. So there's a lot of theology in there that's a little bit wonky, a little bit weird. I will say one very important thing is the second realm is a real place. We have talked about this before. There is the first realm, which is where God is, where he exists. Scripture talks about this, by the way, where God is, where he exists. There's the third realm. That's us. That's where we exist here physically on earth. There is a second realm where there are demons and angels and spirits and lowercase g gods. There are spiritual forces. They are called a lot of things, whatever they are. That is real. And encounters with them are real. I defend things like Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons as not witchcraft because they're not. I do not defend things
not the way you play.
I do not defend things like tarot cards or Ouija boards or seances because those are
the stated purpose of them is to have
try
those
and contact
encounters.
A real place, is trying to actually interact with something real.
Yeah.
And you're opening yourself up to some real trouble there, y'all. Like some real dangers.
Right. And you don't have Dragon's Fire.
Yeah, you don't have a Dragonfire shotgun.
Yeah, you don't have all these cool gadgets.
Yeah. All right, we've been talking for like an hour now.
Yeah,
it literally has been
a lot.
But let us know what you think about Constantine. You all let us know what you think about the fiction of it, the theology of it. To be clear, we're talking about the movie. Don't let us know your comparison to the comics. We understand they're very different.
Irrelevant to the conversation.
Irrelevant to the conversation. Let us know what you think of the movie. With that being said, Fox, what have you been up to, my friend?
You know what? I'm going to talk about the opposite a little bit. I've not been playing video games this month.
Oh, yeah.
I've been actively avoiding them just as a kind of a cold turkey because I spent a lot of time on playing video games.
Yeah.
And the problematic part is that it gets in the way of other things I should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so this month, the month of January, not playing video games. I've been, it's not a full, watching movies, and we play on Monday nights with, it's a social, that's more of a social thing with another friend of ours,
right,
more than it is a video gaming thing. So that gets a pass. But I have, you know what? I'm going to talk about this in both things. I watched a show called Death by Lightning.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've heard about this.
No.
It's a Netflix show. It is about President Garfield. James Garfield. The dude hated Mondays. He
loved lasagna.
It's a 4-part miniseries about James Garfield. If you aren't aware, he is one of the he was assassinated. It is about him essentially becoming president and then being assassinated. And it is excellent because it kind of follows not parallel stories, but follows both Garfield and his assassin. And I would say the highlight of the show is the man who plays is what's his name? Oh, he was Mr. Darcy. Oh, dang. Anyway,
I know who you're
the
talking
guy who
about.
plays
Dang it.
Gateau, his assassin, portrays this troubled individual in such a at one point he'll be this manic I'm so excited, I'm on board, I'm wanting to be a part of this president's rise to fame and power, and I think he'll do great things, and then something goes wrong and it sends him spiraling out of control, and he's on this edge of Matthew McFadden. Yes, I knew that as 4 seconds.
I said Matt, and you jumped in with it.
I knew
it.
But he portrays him in such a you're constantly battling whether or not you're on this man's side, whether or not you're rooting for him or seeing through. Is he just a trickster? Is he a huckster? Is he genuine in how he what he says? He is actively lying, but do you forgive it because he has good intentions? Constantly going back and forth. Everything else is also great. Wonderful. Ron Swanson plays Nick Offerman plays.
I was
I remembered
you.
it.
Yeah.
Nick Offerman plays Chester A. Arthur, who has this great arc. He's the vice president, and there's a whole lot to it. Is probably the best, like, historical drama. It's based on a nonfiction book, but it is a a drama. It's not trying to be a documentary. It's maybe one of my favorite. I've not watched a whole lot of them, but it is probably my favorite one that I've ever seen. In that it is about some little small part of history that ultimately didn't have a huge effect. Like, he was president for 3 months and then died. Like, he didn't pass a single bill. Like, he didn't do a whole lot, but it's like ramifications echo through history. And also it's a very good story it is about the Republican Party trying to fight against corruption and cronyism. But it's 120 years ago, so it doesn't feel like something you can call out as like, oh, you just hate Trump, No, this is a historical show. It's largely accurate. There are things that are slightly different to increase the drama, but the actual like events of the show are accurate and portray real life. And so it feels very good for the current time. And it's portrayed in a way that is not easily called out as like propaganda, I guess I'll say. So I appreciate it. It's four episodes are an hour long each. Like, it's not a long commitment.
Nice.
It's very good.
I'm gonna hammer out two things. One really quick. I saw Zootopia 2. It's pretty good. It's fine.
You mean Zootopia?
Yeah.
Cowards wouldn't call it that.
There's minor spoiler. They have to come to terms with their partnership, and they come to the point where, like, it's a big deal that one of them says, he's just like, I love you, partner. Like, I love you. They leave it ambiguous on what he means when he says that.
Okay.
And I felt oddly weird about that. Like, the fact that they're different species, I thought was weird. And I was looking back on that. I'm like, why did that feel so weird to me?
Is that a thing that happens in Zootopia? Is that, like, there are couples of different species?
Not that they've ever shown, no.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, I was like, this is weird. And I don't know why I think it's weird, but it was weird.
Because you're a racist.
Yeah,
you're a segregationist.
Yes, that's exactly what it means. But what I really want to talk about
you
is... You
yourself don't enjoy mixed race marriages.
Nikohan, is that his name?
Sure.
The one from Everything Ever All at Once?
Yeah.
Him?
Oh, yeah, we're talking about Short Round?
Yeah, Short Round.
Yeah.
He was the snake in this and just had an adorable role and just crushed it, man. He was outstanding. Anyway, but what I want to talk about is a game called Strange Jigsaws.
I've heard of this, and it's always intriguing every time I hear somebody talk about it.
Strange Jigsaws is a game that I started watching one of my favorite YouTubers, and he's like, all right, my wife and I are going to be playing this. If you like puzzle games and you don't want to be spoiled, stop this video and go buy Strange Jigsaws right now. So I stopped this video, and it's $5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, done. And it is a brilliant... we talk about puzzle games all the time. It perfectly balances that. It is challenging enough to make you feel like you are challenged, but not make you feel stupid. So when you solve a puzzle, you feel like you're a genius. But it makes you think outside the box in so many ways. It all has the idea of connecting things like a jigsaw would. Okay. But they do it with sound. They do it with color. They do it like all kinds of think outside the box type ways. It is super fun. It's $5. I think I got probably like 6 hours of gameplay out of this. And I cannot, if you like puzzle games, I cannot think of a better deal right now. Absolutely worth every penny. Strange Jigsaw is on Steam. Go pick it up.
Okay. I might play that. It always reminds me when somebody talks about it of What the Golf. Yes. Where in a certain extent, like if you just hear golf, you're like, I know what this is. And then you play it and it just keeps surprising you every time.
So, What the Golf, but jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a way to put it. Yeah. So, you had already mentioned same thing. What has brought you to worship about Killed by Lightning or whatever it is?
That's what it is. Death by Lightning.
Death by Lightning.
It comes from a line where a character says, protection against assassination is as useless as protection against death by lightning. Anyway, there is a pivotal moment in the movie where, as I said, Guteau, the assassin, meets with James Garfield. Like, they're kind of crossing paths a lot, but after James Garfield becomes president, he's like meeting with people and constituents and people who helped him in the campaign, and they have a meeting, and they like sit down and talk, and James Garfield Guteau basically says, like, I want to be great. Like, help me be great like you have become. I have appreciated and respected your, like, ascension from poverty to something great, and you're going to do great things. I want to be like that. And James Garfield, like, genuinely, like, looks at him, like, genuinely confused, like, oh, I think you misinterpreted me. It's Michael Shannon is Garfield. And he's excellent in this. Like, this is going to win awards, I'm assuming. He just says, it's not me who's great, but God. And it's like this wonderful little moment of, like, what do you like? The idea of his faith is not like a constant theme throughout the movie, but it does come up enough where it feels appropriate for, like, somebody in this position to, like, he brings it up. It's a thing, like, it's just, and it demonstrates motivation against the other people in the show whose motivations are clearly greed and themselves, self-aggrandizement. And it's just this moment of, and then, like, the other guy, Guteau, just, like, has this, like, hold on, like, doesn't even really say much after that, and is just kind of confused. And then Garfield has to go and do another thing, has to go see John and Odie. And every time I say Garfield, it's funny to me in my mind. You get over that pretty quickly in the show because they say it enough where you're like, all right, it's not the orange beloved cat. It's just this guy. But it's just, like, he has a conversation about this conversation with his wife. And his wife, like, says, like, you said that, like, laughing at him. And he's like, yeah. Like genuine, like, yeah, I did. She's like, you are great. And, like, there's, like, this really interesting, like, conversation in the show about what makes somebody great. And as a viewer, you're just like, no, what he is doing is great, but it's literally just following his conscience and what God has called him to do. And just, like, it's not that he is a great, amazing person with crazy ideas or whatever. He's just, like, wanting black people to be equal to white people. Like, he meets with black constituents and, like, makes promises and follows through. Like, it's not that, like, it's just, like, this idea of greatness. He's like, and because of his motivations, demonstrates this idea of, it's not because I'm great, I'm just following through with what my God tells me to do. And, like, it's a very good portrayal of righteousness. Not being I am perfect, but doing what I have been called to do and following what God has called me to do. Man. It's really cool.
Beautiful. That's awesome. In the same book I was talking about before, it's Death Masks by Jim Butcher.
Death by Lightning Masks?
Death by Lightning Masks. It is the 5th book in the Dresden Files, the 2nd book that has the Knights of the Cross in it. And in this world, they have this book introduces what are called denarians, and the denarians
sounds like a currency from Star Wars.
Well, denarii is a currency from the Bible.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And it's the 30 pieces of silver that were given to Judas.
Another magical relic,
but this is the opposite.
But evil.
Each one is possessed by a particularly evil demon.
Okay.
And if you, like, just like Judas, who chose to betray Christ, if you choose to take this, you will become merged with this demon, and you will get all kinds of incredible power.
Sounds like a cool video game.
All this other stuff and whatnot. It really is like an interesting fiction. Like, I really like this whole storyline with the Denarians, the Knights of the Cross, and whatnot. But they get to a point in here where they have one of them cornered. It's the 2 Knights of the Cross and Harry Dresden, and they have one of them cornered, and the guy says, wait, I renounce my demon. I completely renounce it. And a coin just falls out of nowhere and rolls onto the ground, and it's just a guy there. And Harry Dresden is like, ha, sucker, it's over
what
now.
A dummy.
What a nerd. And the other 2 Knights of the Cross are like, wait, we can't hurt him. And Harry's like, why not? And he's like, the Michael, my favorite Christian character in all of fiction, maybe my favorite character in all of fiction altogether, Michael Carpenter says, we are not here to kill the Denarians. We're here to save the people enslaved by them. We aren't here against them. We're here for them. We want to bring them back to the fold. Like we want to rescue these people. And the guys there cackling, he's like, ha 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 ha, nerds, I'm just gonna, turn my back and take a different coin when you leave and it'll be just fine. And they're like, yeah, we know, man. We know all of this. But it doesn't change that we love you and we want to serve you. And where you are as you are without the coin, we want that person to live and to be saved. And it is just such a beautiful moment of exactly the way that God sees us, that he doesn't want to punish us for our sins. He wants to save us from them. He wants so deeply for us to deny them, to say, I'm done. I'm dropping that. I'm getting rid of that. And to just bring us into his arms and to rescue us from our own sin, from our own choices, to completely rescue us from it. And it was a really, really cool way in a low fantasy fiction to portray that. Sure. So beautiful moment. Cool. Really, really good and really, really well said. So,
all right.
Well, that's what I got.
Same Z's.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate.
There you go.
We also appreciate.
We do preach.
Yeah.
Preach in 2 weeks.
Appreciate each and every one of you out there. We want to say a special thank you to the Music Mechanic for the creation of our theme song.
Woo.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, the Music Mechanic. Hey, you should tell people to like and subscribe or whatever.
Hit that, smash that like button, baby. But yeah, like and subscribe. Hit up. We are a part of. No, wait, you're gonna say that in a fuller thing, but
yeah,
like and subscribe this video or this podcast. Hey, comment on your views. Like, go ahead and engage with us. We want to be a part of the conversation. We are finite individuals. We're extremely smart, but we don't know everything. So we'd love to. Oh wait, hold on. Was I wrong? Do you know everything or?
No, I just remembered something else. But
okay, cool. What you got?
That we forgot to do our little save points plug in the middle there, which is just
someday,
fine.
Someday we'll do this right.
Yeah, we should actually just have an outline and put it up somewhere. Like we'll remember.
Smart.
Yeah. But hey, if you are somebody who is looking for community. A community of people to talk about with things like this, community of people to play games with, to play board games with, to do whatever, just to have these people around you. We want to find you a community like that, but also one that will love you with the compassion of Christ. And if that's something you're interested in, head over to SavePointMinistries.com. We'd love to help you there. But also, if you want to just chat with us and talk with us or whatever, you can head over to our YouTube channel and or to our social media at SavePointMin, and there will be links to our Discord.
Yeah,
and all this
but that's what you're looking for.
That's what
Discord.
I'm looking for. Yes, you can join us on Discord and have conversations with us, chat with us about all this stuff there. Yeah,
give us your fan theories for Constantine 2,
which is in production.
Apparently.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Jesus' favorite podcast.
We'll see you guys later. Bye. Saving Continue is made by SavePoint Ministries and is a part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network. It is produced and edited by Steve Valdez and Radio Matt Coker. Intro and outro music are done by the Music Mechanic. A special thank you to the Glue Network for their support. For more faith-based and nerd-friendly podcasts, go to lovethynerd.com/listen.